Okay, so today it's kind of an unexpected episode about my yarn no by year. I did not really know where to place such kind of an episode, and I just decided to go along with this project because, as a matter of fact, the whole reason for what I'm going to be talking about today is because of this project, or thanks to this project. So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small place on the internet where I talk about all my knitting life and everything about knitting. My name is Isabelle, I am in France, and I would like to welcome all the new people who've been coming along on the past few days. I think it's thanks to Lisa who mentioned my channel, and a lot of people subscribed, and that makes me very happy. I hope you will enjoy it here. And as I was saying, today it's gonna be an episode that doesn't quite fit perfectly in one of my different categories of the different series I have here on this channel. It's part Yarn no by Year for my Yarn no by Year project, because all the books I'm going to be talking about, I bought them last year and in kind of when I went overboard and relapsed from this project. And also it's also in my regular knitting adventures, because one of these books that I bought in January after I had made some kind of analysis what was going on, and I had set new rules for myself. So this one book that I bought in January is one of the five I can buy this year. I allow myself to buy this year. And when I saw the book, the little knit-along that I've suggested we carry on this channel, and you have been very interested into this knit-along, I thought of it when I saw the book and when I pre-ordered it. Thing is, on the website, it's on Laine magazine, Laine, I'm not sure how you say that. The book is still on pre-order, so I pre-ordered it on the day it was available. I received it 2 days ago. We are on a Monday, I received it Friday or Saturday, something like that. And so this is going to be some kind of discovery for you, because I do not know if everybody who's pre-ordered the book has received it, or if I'm the only one and it was kind of a mistake. But anyway, starting the 16th of February, the book will be available to everybody. Okay, so before we get into that, what am I wearing? I'm wearing a commercial sweater that I bought over 30 years ago, because I bought it when I came back from the United States, and I bought it even before I was pregnant with my first son, who's gonna be 13 in a few months. So it was an expensive sweater that I got on sale. I could not have bought it full price at the time. And it's a Rodier. I'm going to write the name here. The brand still exists. It's a French brand. It's made in France, and it's 60% wool and 40% polyamide or some kind of fossil fuel byproducts, nasty byproducts. And the thing is, it's peeled quite a bit. If it's felted quite a bit in the front, and where the different parts kind of rub onto each other. But you see, I'm not wearing it really in person in real life when I go out and everything. I wear it at home, and I wear it when I work from home and I have some meetings, because you don't see the way it's felted. And today I'm working from home and I will have several meetings. I had this morning and I will have this afternoon too, and this is my lunch break. So you don't see at all the way it's a bit felted. It was a very good quality garment. I washed it quite a few times the regular way, and that soak in it and let it dry flat, and it's held up perfectly in this dark blue color that I like a lot. With that, I'm wearing my elven shawl. I do not remember if I've worn it in quite some time. I think I did not wear it in quite some time. The elven shawl is by Florence Paulin. It was my first attempt at intarsia, so don't be afraid. It's not, intarsia is not difficult. It's really all about managing your yarn, and Ramses is on the table. I'm just going to be waiting. He gets not interested in any longer. So you need on the spot with one color. The yarn management was quite difficult for example, motifs such as this one, because you have one light color, the green, one strand for the light. So that's 1, 2, green, 3, blue, 4, green, 5, the light color. So that was quite quite of a yarn management. I had my little balls of yarn in plastic bags in front of me, in freezer plastic bags. In front of me, I had Ziploc bags. I had zipped all the bags, but the one part where the yarn would come out, and I was managing that. It was quite of an adventure, and I could not knit if I was not sitting at the table. Second thing that was quite a bit of an adventure too was the bubbles. There are a lot of them, I haven't counted them, and I'm currently knitting a bubble scarf where my projected end of the scarf will be with over 1,000 bubbles or around 1,000 bubbles, so that's a lot. This shawl has a special place into my heart for several reasons. The first one, it was a present from my sons. They bought me, of course I suggested. They said, what do you want? I said, okay, if you can team up all together. They bought me the yarn kit from Cocoon. That was knit by Florence Paulin. The original sample was knit with Cocoon. There was a Cocoon bundle. So Cocoon yarn, and they bought me the pattern too. So all of these colors are the ones that were called for in the first sample, and there have been several samples after that. I think she's made another version, and of course many people have made many different colors. So it was at the Christmas of 2020, and I started it in January 2021. That was my first cast on of the year, and I think it took me for 3 or 4 months, 5 months to finish it. I finished it right at the end of May. So yes, my elven shawl, that is a piece that I cherish, because there is a lot of my sons into it. Okay, what happened at the end of last year? I've already talked about it, and I will link the 2 videos I've made about my Yarn by Year project and my December check-in and my January check-in, where I adjusted my own guidelines and regulations. In 2021, I went overboard and bought a lot of yarn, and that prompted me into that project. I'll let you watch the videos or read about it, because I've made blog posts also about that. And I've set up a set of guidelines for myself so that I'm within boundaries that make me feel comfortable and that help me not go overboard. Well, at the end of last year, I think the year was quite successful, and I relapsed because I was happy my project was completed. It was the end of November, the beginning of December. I was so happy, and all hell went loose. And what prompted me into that kind of behavior was that Pompom announced they were closing down and they won't be making any more magazines or any more books. I had several books on my lists, of my wish list, and I have several magazines too. And if I'm filming this right now, we are at the beginning of February, it's because when I ordered the magazines and I made a second order with books, I pre-ordered the last issue. So I knew that the magazines would not come before the end of January, whenever the last issue was published. So I was not really worried about the fact I had not received the magazines. I had received the books, but not the magazines. So when I received the last issue, it was alone in the package. So I reached out to Pompom, and they say, well, the package with all the magazines you had ordered came back to us as unclaimed. I had no notification, no email, no message, no nothing about it. So I told them, well, I haven't been aware of any way for me to pick up or receive a package, so I can't have not received it, not claimed it, because I did not even receive it in the first place. So I guess they went through their own system and they say, okay, we can send all the magazines you've ordered but one, which is out of print. So they replaced it with another one that I like a bit less, but anyway, so I'm gonna be talking about these magazines and the last issue, and I will choose one pattern per magazine, because you can browse through all the different patterns and see if there is something that you like, because otherwise it's going to be a very, very long video and it's going to be a pain to edit. So I'm just going to be doing that way. One pattern, or maybe two, one pattern per book or magazine. So we are going to be starting this kind of little book review and magazine review with Pompom, the one that threw me overboard. So let's just start with them. Of course, the issue number 48, the last one, I pre-ordered without knowing whichever patterns were inside. And there is a little mitten pattern that's called Rosie by Stine Holgard. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. And these patterns, these mittens are very appealing to me. The white or clear cream background with the orange detail, and if you see, and I will place pictures, if you try to see correctly, the orange detail is paired with a periwinkle light purple type of color, and I would not have paired these two ones together. Unfortunately, I don't have any of these left in my stash. I've made a beanie and a caul. My youngest son and his girlfriend got me some yarn of that color. And so I don't have any of the periwinkle, but of course I have a lot of the beigey natural color yarn, and I have orange that is left from a beanie I knit for my youngest son a couple years ago for Christmas. So I'm not much into all of these type of textures, and the book is also about how knitting pieces can look like woven pieces. I like that very much. There is a very stunning scarf, but I'm not going to elaborate. But I think these mittens are the ones that I'm going to be making from that book. Okay, next one, second one, is I'm going to be going in reverse order. I think I'm going in reverse order. Yes, it's number 42. It's from autumn 2022. And I bought it for the pattern that is on the front cover. You will see there is another one that appealed to me a lot, and it's also in yellow. I don't think the yellow or the mustardy colors fit me that well, but I'm all for a textured or a lace yoke, a cabled yoke, and this one fits and checks all my boxes. It's Epoch by Elena Dimchevska. And once again, you have it here, and you have it in blue here. So the pattern, the sweater can be made in any color, of course. This is the one that appealed to me. There are other ones in the book. And of course, it was on my list. It was on my list. So when I pre-ordered the last issue, I threw this into my cart. Next is issue number 41 from Spring-Summer of 2022. Once again, not the cover pattern that time. Once again, and I was just talking about that, a yellow pattern, lace all over on the t-shirt, front, back, sleeves. Of course, I won't be making the shorts. I'm not much into that, but who knows. And it's reduplicated by Marie Régnier. When I saw, the first time I saw this pattern, I was mesmerized, and I immediately placed this book into my wish list. I have a wish list. I should not make wish lists because this is why I went down through my wish list and kind of went overboard. And the last one is issue 39 from Winter 2021. I did not choose that little booklet. It was not into my list. So they sent me issue number 39 from Winter 2021. And I'm just going to show you Pink Noise by Adela Dutra. This is the one that is the most interesting to me in that issue. Why? Because you may have seen around, there are many recent patterns that kind of look like that. People have published patterns that kind of look like that. That is a colorwork yoke with stripes that go down the yoke and some kind of motif at the bottom of the stripes. And when I looked in the booklet once I received it, I had not seen any pattern in there when it came out that was of some interest to me. I had forgotten about this one. And now I'm kind of happy I have it. I have not looked for the issue that I did not receive. They sent me a link for digital download anyway because I had bought the digital copy, so I have to go into that. I haven't done that yet, and I prefer prints. So yes, these are the 4 magazines I got from Pompom. So for the books that I got from Pompom, I have already talked about them. There is a video, I will link it down below. I'm just gonna skim through them. So the first one, in no particular order, was Embodied by Jacqueline Chesliak. Not for any particular pattern, and there is sewing patterns and knitting patterns there. Just because I've always liked Pompom for the way they were being very size inclusive, and they were embracing any kind of people, and more than just words, they were publishing patterns that were size inclusive, and even a book that is very size inclusive. So I bought it more for the sewing patterns than the knitting patterns, and if I do get into it, I will tell you, and I will show you what I make with it. I'm not a good sewer, but I just wanted to support that, and it was on my list, and I was thinking, but if it's not going to be available any longer, and I was feeling the craving, so add to cart and add to cart and add to cart. Okay, the next one is Moon and Turtle by Kayomi and Sachiko Berging. I've just finished my dusking from Kayomi Berging from an Amerisu pattern. I got the little buttons. It's blocked, it's drying out right now. And this book I had seen when it came out, of course, for the pattern in the front. The pattern is in the front cover is Cordy. And this pattern, you can use many different color combinations. You see you have two here with the light purple and the light gray one. There is another one with a yellow background and or main color. And I like very much this kind of colorwork sweater. I've already knit one, or even two standing Scandinavian type of sweaters. So yes, I bought it for the front cover. The next one is The Shetland Trader by Gudrun Johnson. And this is a very famous book. You've seen many people in the YouTube community, the knitting YouTube community, knitting these patterns. They are very famous. They are sticked. I have never been sticking anything, so this would be a very first for me. But there is one I like even better. It's Maywick. Maywick, from what I've looked, is not sticked. You need it bottom up, and then you knit the sleeves, and then you match the sleeves with the... Yeah, I think it's a satin sleeve. I just looked for it. And you have to match the pattern with the sleeve opening and the satin sleeve. So this is something that I used to be doing when I was younger, and I was knitting everything flat because we did not have circular needles at the time. I did not know they existed, and this is what I was doing. So this pattern, I would be very much interested into knitting it. This is why I got the book from Pompom. And I've seen people knitting in the round and stick the sleeve opening to place the sleeve into them. I'm not sure. I think I would prefer to knit it flat and match the sleeve opening. So that would be quite of an endeavor too. And I'm not sure I have enough yarn and in the right yarn weight for that, but this one is on my list, and this is why I had this book on my list also, just because it's a beautiful book, and Gudrun Johnson is a beautiful designer. Okay, the last book I bought from Pompom is the one that was I've already spent that much. What is maybe 20 pounds, 19 pounds and 50 cents, so that's maybe less than 30 euros. What is 30 or 40 more euros? Nothing, add to cart. I was in a frenzy. And so it's Ready Set Raglan. It was not on my list, or it was on my list, but not my official list. And when I went through the book, I said, oh yeah, I had seen that one. And so this is more a book of Raglan recipes. And this one on the cover is Halloween, and it's a 2x2 ribbed sweater that I think is very nice looking. So I already had the idea of making my own sweater, my own Raglan sweater, and this book, once I get to that project, is probably going to be of much help. But there are many other books or magazines or recipes for sweaters where you can adjust for your yarn and the pattern you desire, the stitch motif you prefer and everything. So was it a necessity? No. Did I get it? Yes, of course. Am I happy I have it? Yes, I am. Okay, next, 2 books from Laine or Laine Publishing. The first one, which is Textured Knits by Paula Pereira. I had it on my radar. I had it in my wish list, and Laine magazine had an end of year sale. So I did not even think for 1 second. Not 1 second. I bought it. I bought it because I really am attracted to the front cover pattern. And this pattern is diamantine, seamless top-down sweater with all over intuitive diamond cable pattern and a beautiful ribbed neckline. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and I have yarn for it. And really, I really wanted to have that book for that sweater. And in looking at the sweater, and I had already seen, I think, but I had forgotten, I came across musgo, which means moss in Portuguese. Paula is from Portugal. And this sweater with a very discreet yoke, cabled yoke, I already had that type of picture in my mind. I'm not sure it was coming from this book, from Musgo, or from some other thing I had seen elsewhere. Maybe, I do not recall. And I want to make a vest with that type of a pattern and I could find the type of patterning in the Vogue Stitch Dictionary or another one I think I have. And that type of how they are placed, I looked into the book, I looked into the Stitch dictionaries, and I think I can come up with my own. I have to swatch, of course, and I think I can come up with my own vest pattern. So, yeah, a beautiful book. I know some of you have bought it because I talked about it, and it's really a perfect book if you like textures and cables. And there are many other pieces, not only sweaters, there are hats, socks, shawls. So yes, am I happy I have it? Yes, once again. Was I in any rush to buy it? I was on the instant. When I think of it now, no, but I'm really happy I did it. So that was a lot that I bought within a few days. So all the Pompom magazines and books on the same day, and the textured knit a few days later. So it was all in that same time frame where I lost all control and all clear vision of what I was doing. So I thought about it, I talked about it with you, and you made me think about it a bit more and helped me analyze what was going on and everything. At the beginning of January, Laine Publishing, or Laine Publishing, and I think it's Laine in Finnish, they advertised the 52 weeks of accessories that was going to be released on February 16th. We are February 5th, and I have it since the 1st or the 2nd of February. I received it at the end of last week. And when I saw this book and I looked at the pattern preview, Laine lets you see which patterns are included in the book on their website. When I had a look at the patterns, I said, this book once again is for me. I have the 52 weeks of shawls, the Sotabosk is from that book. I have the 52 weeks of easy knits. I've made beanies and other things from that book too. And now this one, I do not have the 52 weeks of socks. I may get it at some point, and I think there was a second edition with different patterns. I'm not sure I recall. I will write it here if I'm right or wrong, but this is the impression I have. They've made 2 editions of the 52 weeks of socks. And this one really struck me when I first saw it. So as I have allowed myself to buy 5 books this year, I decided in a mindful and in a conscious way to pre-order it, and I received it a couple of days ago. And as I said, I'm going to be showing only one pattern. Most of them are of some interest to me. This one is Moth Moth by Kari Katsurada. And you could see it like a little scarf, but it's not. It's a little hood that you place on your head. Oh, no, it's just the yarn requirements and things that you place on your head and that can sit on the back if you don't place it on your head. And it's kind of it's a hood with a little tie in the front, and I think it's extremely elegant. So I have my eyes on these patterns, but there are mittens, socks, hoods, coals, shawls, accessories. There are bracelets. There are bags. Maybe I'm missing out some things. And this one is also the one that made me think. First, I like to buy more yarn than just my sweater quantities. And I know I've talked about that with some of you. You do not everyone can do that, of course, but you always have leftovers, maybe just a little bit. So I always buy more, and I love to have a matching accessory to a sweater, or I don't need much cardigans, but mostly sweaters. Or I even, why not knit a shawl and knit the matching sweater to go with it. And some sweaters I have are not easy to accessorize, so having an accessory that is with the same yarn, in the same colorway, I like that. Maybe not everybody loves that, but when I talked about a MatchyKAL, K-A-L, and maybe I haven't decided on the name yet. Matchy is taken, and it's completely something different. So it's gonna be matching knit along. Maybe you want to crochet, so every craft is welcome. So maybe I should call it make along. And the idea kind of stemmed from that book and the fact that I like matching my sweaters to some accessories. And my idea, as some of you have said you would go for a knit along, is to start it today. I need to see in Ravelry how to make a forum or something, because that's true. I had thought about Instagram. I had thought about Ravelry too, but on YouTube you can't share your pictures. You can talk to each other under the video, but it's not very practical. You have to go back to the discussion under said video, and if it goes on for several weeks, it's all buried down the bottom of YouTube. So either on Instagram to share pictures, but not everyone has Instagram, or on Ravelry, and not everyone has Ravelry. But on Ravelry, you can share your ideas, your work in progress, and most people have a chatters thread where people talk about the patterns they are knitting and the yarn they chose and everything, and the difficulties or the pleasure or whatever. And they have a finished object thread where they draw from that thread to have a price. And I don't want to exclude anyone. So if you would like to go for this knit along and you don't have Ravelry, you can't use Ravelry, you don't have Instagram, my email is on my channel description. So you can reach out to me by email and sending pictures, and you will be entered, and I will add your project to the ones that are going to be randomly selected. And my idea is at the end of the knit along, that would be sometime at the end of the summer, I think end of August. That leaves enough time to knit little accessories, or even September if you think it's too short. But I think end of August is quite a nice time frame for you to knit even more than one accessory. And I was thinking I would gift a copy of the 52 weeks of accessories to you, to one of you. thing is, if you've already bought the book, that's not gonna serve you of anything, because I think it's a very, very good inspiration book to be knitting into that knit along. So maybe if you already have the book, or if it's not, if it's out of stock at the end of the summer, maybe just a gift certificate to Laine Publishing for the amount of this book. I'm not sure I recall how much I paid for it. Plus shipping, it was something like for 39 euros or something like that. So maybe a gift certificate to Laine magazine, and then you can order whichever one of their books that you like. What would you think of that? Would you like that? Do you think it's a good idea? Are you in? I've seen several people saying they are in already. So yes, let me organize everything. We are on a Monday. The video is going to be up this Friday. So by Friday, I think I will have time to set up a forum and see how it goes on Ravelry. If I don't have time to do that, or if it doesn't work, I will write it down in the description box. And as always, my description box is always very filled, so you can have plenty of information there. It's okay, that's it for today. You've seen all my books and magazines. The way my Yarn No Buy Year project evolves, when I relapse, when I go overboard, and how I can go with that and learn from that. I thank you very much for being here with me. I thank you very much for joining the little knit along that we can have all together in a very private environment, because my channel is not that big. I thank Lisa for mentioning my channel onto her own latest video. I will mention her channel down below too, and quite a few people came from her mentioning and recommending me. So thanks to her, and thanks to you for being here with me. Please remember to take good care of yourself and place joy and happiness into your own knitting and into your own stitches, because it's not gonna come all by itself, mostly in these very dark environments we are, and strange environment we are living in. And yeah, thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.